one of the very first words I heard was negro, right? No, and the connotations.
Whitening.
When black is not beautiful, anti-blackness and racism persists in the Filipino community. The century-old ideals oppressing its own members, putting a wedge between themselves and the black community.
To better understand why these damaging attitudes persist, I need to take you to a city that has the largest number of Filipinos per capita in the country.
Riddell Bautista grew up in Winnipeg's Northwest. He's my cousin and godbrother, and in the 80s was finding a place between two worlds. Then a wave of Filipino families moved in. They played basketball, watching house parties, the singing and dancing, which felt a lot like a Filipino party. But the love of black culture was contrasted against the attitudes of an older generation at home.
To kiss my grandma goodbye before baseball, and she'd say, "Oh, you're so dark," or going out to the park and my whole family being in the shade.
It only makes sense to protect black people as much as you can. If you want to be adjacent to their culture, if you want allyship, if you want to be able to share in the things that they create.
The anti-black perceptions come from Spanish and American rule.
What's been called colorism. We continue to propagate these kinds of ideas in the community. And so part of the issue and part of the manifestation of this is dividing up communities.
And he's like, well, if you're Asian, we can't be friends anymore. And so all our classmates started calling him a racist.
Hope Barena is part of raising the next generation. She says her 11-year-old daughter, Isabel, just learned about racism after an incident at school she suspects is related to COVID-19 discrimination. Then,
the second weekend of a movement sparked by the death of George Floyd. Some sharp criticism there.
The articles made me realize that my friends who are black and my cousins who are black, they don't have the same rights as me.
She came up to me like an explosion one day and was like, what's going on? Why are people being hurt?
When the Black Lives Matter event approached, Isabel was determined to go. Barena says we're the ones who can learn by seeing it through a child's eyes.
They're just kids and they're saying, you can't talk about other people's skin. How long it takes for us to think before we even say these things out loud. That's a learned behavior that we've picked up. I think we can all really learn from the kids.
In Calgary, Crystal Adaris, City News.